try something a little wild today. We're going to connect two things that feel like they're from completely different planets, thousands of years apart, in fact. What could an ancient wonder of the world possibly have in common with a modern digital spectacle? Well, as you're about to see, the thread connecting them is surprisingly strong. First, let's just take a second and go way back in time. Just look at this, the Giza Plateau. I mean, the sheer scale of it is almost impossible to wrap your head around. These aren't just piles of rock, they're mountains of pure ambition, built by the muscle of an entire civilization, and designed to literally defy time itself. And now, boom, snap right back to today. The challenge looks totally different. There's no stone, no sand. Instead, you've got one person, a tiny, confined space, and a goal that's simple but just brutal. Survive for 30 days, completely isolated, high up in the sky, all for us to watch. It's a monumental task, but in a totally different way. So, that's the big question, isn't it? On one side, you have this massive testament to an empire's power. On the other, a raw test of one person's will. What's the link? Well, it's way more profound than you might think. All right, let's dive into our first big connection here, the raw, undeniable test of human endurance. It doesn't matter if it's a whole society building a mountain of stone or just one person surviving in a box, both are about pushing the absolute limits of what we think is possible. Let's really put these two side by side. On one hand, you've got the pyramid. We're talking decades of backbreaking labor, thousands of people, an entire civilization pouring its resources into one single goal. Then on the other hand, you have this super concentrated personal ordeal, 30 days of pure psychological and physical strain. It's a marathon of one person's stamina. The scales are different, sure, but the core idea of extreme effort, exactly the same. But here's the thing. These incredible acts of endurance, they were never meant to be done in a vacuum. No way! At their very heart, they were spectacles. And any spectacle, by its very definition, needs an audience. And this quote just nails it. Whether it's a monument made of stone or a crazy feat of personal survival, the point isn't just doing the thing. The point is for that act to be seen, to be witnessed, to make people just stop and go, wow. And this is where things just get insane. The scale of the modern audience, you can literally count it. Over 173 million views. To put that in perspective, that is more than double the entire population of countries like Germany or the UK, all tuning in to watch one person in a box. It's like a global digital empire. And you gotta remember, this isn't just passive viewing. More than 2.8 million people actually took action. They clicked, they showed their approval. That is the modern version of a deafening roar from the Colosseum, just scaled up to a degree that's almost impossible to imagine. And then there's this number, the potential audience, 477 million subscribers. That is a viewership pool bigger than the entire population of the United States. A single creator can reach a whole continent's worth of people. The scale is it's staggering. Now, of course, you can't just slap a view counter on the pyramids. The pharaoh's audience was different. You couldn't quantify it, but it was maybe even more profound. They were performing for their people, for sure, but also for something bigger, for history itself, for their legacy, and maybe most importantly, for the gods. The stakes were literally eternal. So this all leads to the big question, right? Why? Why go through all this? What's the prize for these massive efforts? What reward could possibly justify the price of immortality, whether it's carved in stone or coded in pixels? And the answer, the reward? Well, it's fascinating to compare. For the pharaoh, the prize was an eternal legacy. It was a monument to make sure their name would echo through all of time. For a modern survivor, it's a cool $250,000 and a different kind of immortality, going viral, becoming a permanent piece of internet history. Which kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? In our world where so much of our lives are lived online, is a crazy view count the new pyramid? Is becoming a viral sensation the modern way of building a monument? Okay, so let's tie all of this together. Because when you strip away all the details, the sand, the cameras, the centuries, you're left with a timeless human truth. The tools we use might change dramatically, but that fundamental impulse behind these huge gestures, it stays exactly the same. So let's go back to Giza. But look at it with fresh eyes now. See it for what it was. It wasn't just some ancient ruin. It was the ultimate viral spectacle of its day, built to grab the attention of an entire nation
and maybe even the heavens themselves.
You see, the basic recipe for a spectacle is pretty much always the same. It starts with that impulse, that need to create awe. The method evolves, of course, from stone and pure manpower to pixels and personal endurance. And the arena changes, from the physical desert to the borderless digital world of the internet. And really, that's the whole point. The thread connecting the pyramids to a viral YouTube video is us. It's our deep, timeless, fundamental need to both create and consume these massive spectacles. We are just wired to be drawn to incredible feats of will, whether they take a lifetime to build or just 30 days to endure. So I'll just leave you with this one last thought. That core impulse hasn't changed in 4,000 years. From the banks of the Nile to the servers of the internet, we are still building our monuments for an audience. The only real question left is, what will the pyramids of tomorrow look like?